tell us, like, what you did, like what sort of programs you were on, like how that came about.
Yeah, so I suppose, like I said, I wasn't going to go to law school or anything like that. You know what I mean? When I'm normally in the suit going to a wedding or something, someone asks me what time I'm in court at. So no, it was I was doing a bit of modeling at the time, some bits and pieces here, and I got approached by MTV in 2000, and I'd like to say like 2012. And there was a show on there. It was kind of like similar to like Geordie Shore. It was like you go out during the day and you party at night and stuff like that. That kind of gave me my first stint. That series didn't do too great, but I got an agent out of it. And they were a really good management team. And then Celebrity Big Brother came knocking in 2016, so a few years later. And I suppose that's where everything kind of blew up for me in terms of, into the media and stuff. And like I said, yeah, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of pressure on me. You know, I stopped playing football just a few years before that. I was still obviously making good bread in what I was doing in TV. But Big Brother was kind of when I came out of there. I think I was booked for 2 years, and just they're called PAs, so it's like personal appearances. So you go to nightclubs, and I don't know why people are queuing up to get pictures. I still don't know to this day, Greg. But look, what makes money makes sense, as they say, right? So I was booked out for 2 years on them at like 5 nights a week. So listen, my management did care a lot about me. They were like, we don't know if you can handle this. But when, I was 20, 26, and you just think about trying to get the money in at that stage. And, it wasn't, people probably look, stop moaning. It was, you had to go to a club. But, mentally, that can be very daunting on someone, and my ego was out of control, Greg. I didn't like who I was or becoming. And when you mix where there's drink, there's trouble, right? So you're trying to balance, you're trying to get up the next day and keep continuing this. I was in a relationship that was a bit wild, obviously, because, look, I'm no angel and I don't claim to be, but, I learned on the spot, let's say, and I learned in the media and I made a lot of mistakes, but it's stuff that I can't control. It's stuff I wish that, I reacted better. I wish I struck when the iron was hot with some certain business entities that you look at other people now, you're like, yeah, I passed that up. But we live and learn, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I think I certainly had to, I wish I listened to my elders, but I didn't, unfortunately. So I learned the hard way, as they say. But it's life, and I'm glad to be here, fit and healthy. And it's taught me a lot of lessons.
Was there was there a lot of drink and drugs through that period, I
Yeah,
guess?
yeah, absolutely, yeah, 100%. Um, again, I feel like with no excuse. I'm an Irish lad, and there was girls, there was drink, there was fucking everything there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And substances, you're gonna be when you're around that in that industry. There's no hiding for it. It's rampant. And I'm always honest and I'm always transparent with people because I'm not here to be a squeaky clean athlete. Do you know what I mean? It's never going to be the case. I'm here to help people. If I can help one person that's struggling you know, with that side of life, my inbox is always open, and that's the beauty for me. I'm here to be, just a people's person, to show that life can be shy and life isn't great for everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still live with constant anxiety and depression from that stint in my life. I'm still, even though it's years ago, I'm still when like I suppose when I lost my mum when I was 13, and my brother, and then my half sister within that same year when I was 13. Bereavement stuck with me, and I didn't know how to at that age, I suppose, deal with it. But I did I use my humor a lot. I use my wit if I can get out of something. When everyone was like, "You okay? You okay?" I'd be like, "Yeah," like brushing it off like it wasn't a big deal. But later, I suppose, when I was drinking and using substances at that time in my life, it came to fruition, and it was very hard for me to deal with. Now, my dad, when my mum passed away, they were broken up, so I lived with my dad after that. But he got me like a bereavement counselor, and he done everything he could. But when you have a relationship with your mum for all those years up to 13, it's very hard then to try and show emotion towards your dad. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like I was trying to, obviously, I was playing the football. I was trying to be, I suppose, like a man in a kid's body, right? So yeah, it was difficult, but he was a great man and he'd done everything. It was just it was catch 22. I couldn't. You're trying to be brave, but you know, uh, I needed to deal with it at the time. But yeah, all that stuff, and I make no excuses for my behavior or anything like that. But it definitely interlinks with having a dependency and, that escapism and suppressing your emotion and suppressing your feelings. Um, but that is replaced now, with natural serotonin, with natural endorphins, and it's only bad habits. I had to totally get rid of my circle, my friends that I love back at home, and they know, my true friends knew that I needed to escape that side of life. So like they still check in with me, do you know what I mean? But my lads they were the type of lads to go fishing with no fishing rods and a bag of cans in the boat. Do you know what I mean? Like in Ireland, it's a different story. So I don't even go to any functions. It's like, lads, I'll see you on FaceTime. But sometimes, to lead the orchestra, right, you've got to turn your back on the crowd sometimes. And for me, I owed me dad, I owed my mum for the efforts that they put into to me as a young man. I owed it to them, I owed it to my little girl, and everyone else was to change. And for me, it's not a big deal. It's a blessing that I can go out and have a run. It's a blessing that I have my limbs to be able to do what I do. It was just a matter of looking in the mirror, facing myself. It was nobody else. I don't blame anybody, you know. But I wasn't gonna take it lying down, because that's not a true reflection of who I am as a person. So, I'm trying every day, and Greg, don't get me wrong, I'm still a bleeding mess. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can still be a disaster. I'm not claiming to be perfect. I never will be perfect, but it's night and day. That's why I say HYROX to me, when to push myself to the level up. I'm not near the top where I want to go, but mate, it's about being alive for me. So all these other things, like going to the worlds and, white flags, they don't matter. They don't matter a shit to me, because this, fitness saved my life. And that's what I'm saying. That's for me, is like to go out. And that's probably why I race with a smile on my face, because, it beats waking up with a bad hangover and regret. So I'm
Yeah.
blessed.